How's it going, guys? I'm Dustin. Try to ignore this loud air conditioner above me. It's something like 90 some degrees with a real feel of 100. I don't do good in the heat, unfortunately. It is what it is, and I gotta try to stay cool, okay? So today I want to talk about the difference between a decal and a negative, or a positive and a negative when you buy a decal. When you see some of my other videos talking about custom paint, I talk about using negatives. But you need to know what that is, and I want to talk about what cut vinyls are and how you can use them or how you can utilize them on your project. Okay, cut vinyls are really like the goal, the epicenter, the next level for when you're doing custom paint. Even if you're just rattle canning something, okay, by buying something in a decal or a negative, you can do some really cool effects. But we need to talk about those effects, okay? Because you know, if you do them wrong, then well, it opens up some doors. So I'm Dustin, and let's get into this. So first off, if you've seen some of my other videos, or if you bought decals from me, sometimes I ask if you want a positive or a negative. Or I say that you could use a negative. So what is a negative, okay? So when we're doing cut vinyls, and this is a machine that uses a razor blade, and it cuts the vinyl out, okay? They use a plotter machine like they do for big blueprint papers and so on. And they cut vinyl out like this. Now this is for a customer. Okay, I do some hand-carved Viking runes and some cool things like that I sell on Etsy. And right now I'm working on building a bag for those runes, and I'm throwing in this decal for free to the customer because of late shipping times. I was on vacation, I didn't see an order come through, that's my fault. Let me throw in something free for you. What happens is the razor blade goes around and it cuts these out. Afterwards, I have to it's called weeding, but I have to hand pull every piece out that you don't want. I do this by hand, okay? The cutting happens, but I do the pulling by hand. So this is what we would call a positive, or a decal. Now what I would do is I would take what's called transfer paper, or this paper right here. This one's clear, some of them come in white, but it sticks over the top of the sticker. And at that point, when you get the decal, you can pull it off, which it should come with all the stickers, but you usually take like a credit card, or what we call, you know, application cards, and you squeegee everything down. You'll pull that transfer paper off, and the sticker will stay to the transfer paper. You then can put the sticker on whatever you want, and then again squeegee everything out, make sure it sticks good, and then pull that transfer paper off. But this is a positive. You can use these in custom paint. You can. Okay, what you would do is you would spray the color that you want this to be, you would stick this down, and then when you spray your other color, you then go through and peel this out. That's called using a positive for custom paint. Absolutely doable, guys. This is absolutely a way to do it. But here's the other idea, okay? When you're painting something, the base color changes the top color. Okay? I know this sounds confusing, but let's say you paint something black and then you decide you want it to be red, so you spray a red over it. It will be a darker red, like a maroon. If you want it to be bright red, you need to spray white and then spray red over it. Okay? So on some cases like, hold on. So on this valve cover, in the video I did restoring and grinding this valve cover down for a race engine, I talked about possibly doing a custom negative for the top of this. This is a negative. It's cut the exact same way as the positive, except I take the sticker part, or the intended part, out. There's a couple ways you can do this. I can actually do double outlines a lot around a negative and make a pretty cool effect. But here's what you have to remember, okay? I can apply this sticker directly to here and leave the sticker on there. That would make the design teal. I can put this sticker on here, spray a different color over the design, take this sticker off, and that will make the design silver. I can put this sticker on there, spray over it, and leave it, and make a 3D design under my paint. With a negative, I stick the negative on there, I tape everything else off, and whatever color I spray is now what is left on here, and the piece itself stays silver. So you have to know what you want, okay? That's the difficult part. You have to know what you want. For this, in particular, in the truck that this is going in, the entire engine will be silver with probably gold or copper accents. So what I'm gonna do is take a negative, throw it on there, and then I'm going to spray copper. But I don't have to spray copper like solid. That's the thing. I can mist the copper and just make like a glittery effect. I can mist any kind of metallic and make a glittery effect that isn't necessarily such a harsh visual, and it's kind of like one of those things you see in the light. Remember ghost flames? That's how they were done. They were taped off and just misted with glitter and metallics, that's glitter, and pearls, and you know, things like that. Now the big thing when you're applying decals is that you want to prep the surface before you apply them. Like if I was going to apply this and I want it to stay on there, I need to clean that area with like an alcohol. Like you can just use alcohol pad, you know, like the prep pads for injuries. If you want to clean it with like an alcohol or something like that, because you get rid of all the surface oils, all the waxes and things like that, and then this sticker has the ability to really stick. Okay. Now, when you're doing something like this, it's going to be exposed in the light. You might want to consider doing like a UV clear, like spray paint UV clear, because you know there's some protectants in here, but they do fade over time. I have one on a car outside that's been on there for probably 4 years now. Sits in the sun. The orange definitely faded out of it. Reds and oranges are known to fade more than any other color, but you need to remember that they might fade. It makes a difference. So I want to put this negative onto that piece right there. I'm going to take this transfer paper, and I will send it to you with transfer paper on it. But I'm going to take this transfer paper, and what I like to do, if I want something to stick to a non-sticky surface, is I like to take this and open it up and stick it on my leg a few times. I might not do it on that piece over there, because I don't need to. It's a very smooth surface. But like plastics and glass, and like these, you know, countertops and things like that, it's a more pure, more smooth surface. Okay, anything that's textured or might fall apart, like say raw woods, this might not stick to as easy, especially things with oils in them. That's where you have to be careful on your plastic. A lot of plastics, you know, your polyurethane plastics used on vehicles, they are oil based. Okay. That's why you need to use special cleaners on them to pack the oils back into them, because the UV sun or the UV rays damage them over time. So you need to be careful with that. You need to use alcohol before you apply this. You can wet or dry apply vinyls, which is a little confusing, but you know, wet, we use like a spray. You can use like a drop-a-dawn just soap in a bottle of water. There are specific sprays out there, but you spray it and then you squeegee all that water out of there. You have to make sure you squeegee all of that water out of there. But what it does allows you to stick it up there and move it around a little bit before you start to squeegee it. That's called wet application. In most cases, you're going to dry apply this. Okay, so you're just going to put the application tape on there, take it off, stick it on whatever you want, squeegee it, and pull it right back off, as long as you can line it up right. The big issue is when you want to do something like this piece of fabric. This is a bag. Okay, so again, this is for those custom runes. And what I do is I put a negative on there. I tape everything else off so that way it can't, you know, overspray or anything like that, and I mist very lightly with like black and then a sparkle of gold paint through this, and it gives it like an old mystic look. The big thing, and the reason you need negatives, right? What's the advantage to negatives that you should be buying negatives and not just cutting stuff out on a piece of paper, right? Because stencils totally work. Here's the thing. You put a stencil down, and when you spray it with anything, spray gun, rattle can, airbrush, doesn't matter, the air pressure going down has that chance of pushing under and lifting that design. So you won't have as sharp of edges. When you cut something out of vinyl, when you do a negative like this and you stick it down, it is stuck on every surface and every edge and every corner and all around it. Now if you take your time and you really push down on a piece of vinyl, no matter what material it's on, and you spray from the top. I always start with a mist, and then I start with like a medium coat, and then I'll spray my color if I'm going to go thicker. But what you're doing is not only are you sticking the edge, then you mist it and you start to get paint in that edge, but not so much that it soaks through, and then you can paint it, okay? So that's the big thing why you need negatives, because it is it's a piece of tape, guys. It's like if you stuck tape down and cut the edge, but it's a perfect edge. I mean, it's a perfect edge. It's a perfect design. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to stick this bag. I'm about to spray this bag, mist it. I mist the design into these bags. I want it to look old and rustic. And then I take the decal off and I mist the entire bag even lighter, so that way it gives it like a spackly design almost. And then what I like to do is I like to put them over a wood burning fire, or I like to torch a piece of wood and get that smoke smell on there because I want it to be natural. I don't want it to smell painty, okay? So these are just some tips and tricks you can do. I said a lot of things. I know there's a lot of information in there. If you have questions, you ask me questions, okay? Shoot them in the comments. I will get to them. Here's the big thing. It notifies me when I have new comments, and it doesn't like to notify me when somebody replies to a comment. So if you have a question, don't reply to other people's comments. Post them as new comments, okay? I know that's confusing to you guys because, you know, you might want to expand on a question that's already being asked, but it doesn't notify me, and that's very frustrating because I want to make sure I respond to everyone, okay? I have information out there. I've been doing custom cars and custom paint, and I owned a custom upholstery shop for a long time and doing stuff like this for more than a decade now, and I would like to say I'm very research-based. I went to seminars, you know, not only do I know how to detail a car, but I went to a Presta seminar so that way they could teach me how the products work perfect for their design. So I made this bag from scratch, the pull cord and all. It's a one-sided pull cord, you know, it pulls up and zips up so that way they can put their runes in there, and it looks nice, it looks more natural. I like the dangly parts because if you were to attach this to, say, a side of you or something, you can wrap that around and do a quick little, you know, release knot. I like this style of bag, and that's why I make them. I'm gonna shut up. That's all the information you need. That's all the information. Ask questions, and if you want to stick around, I'm gonna do this bag, so I'll try to show some of that as well. Alright, so there we go. You seen that I sprayed that very fast, guys. I didn't take any time on that. A lot of what I do is this little spackling right here. See it? I do some spackling in blacks. I do some spackling in golds. I want this bag to look old and a little worn out. I don't want it to look brand spanking new. You know, I'm using a more pure material than what would have been used at the time. So I'm using what's called a fauxtina, F-A-U-X-T-I-N-A, not a patina. A patina is the preservation of decay. Okay, so that's when you're preserving things like rust or paint wear and things like that on a vehicle. Fauxtina, F-A-U-X, you know, and like many things, faux means fake, is to create that effect. Okay, I have the same effect on my motorcycle. That looks like an old war bike. It's beat up. It looks like it is scratched up, but you know, I seen it through areas. It looks rusted. It looks beat up, and that's called fauxtina. Okay, that it's just a pet peeve of mine. Okay, a lot of people just say patina. It's fauxtina, and that's what I wanted to do with this bag. I wanted to make it more time correct in a fauxtina manner rather than anything else. Now I do have rougher materials that I could have made this in, but it's something about, you know, being able to stitch this bag that's very durable and it looks very nice, but then giving it that fauxtina appearance that I just enjoy. Now, some of the things that you see me do is, first off, when you're putting decals onto a fabric to do a spray through like this, they don't like to stick to fabrics. Okay, going back to our comments on you know, sticking a piece of vinyl to a pure material is ideal, a clean pure material. You know, fabric's none of that, okay? Microscopically, fabric has a lot of ups and downs. It's not smooth. There's nothing really for the material to stick to, and then when it does stick to, it is a little bit fuzzy and tears back apart. That's just the nature of most fabrics. But I've done this effect, this stick down, spray through effect on vinyls. I've done it on leathers. I've done it on, you know, a lot of fabrics like this, these cottons. It works. You just have to take your time. So one of the things you see me do is I really stick it down. Well, first off, I take the transfer paper and I tap it on my leg. Now that's just to take away some of that stickiness and to add fuzz, which means it might have an issue then picking this up. So then I'm really, you know, as I'm pulling it up, I'm really sticking it, pull it, stick it, pull it. When I put it back on the material, I'm starting to pull it up while I'm using my finger or a razor blade or something underneath to make sure it's staying down and flat. You know, I taped everything else off around it. you will see overspray, guys. If you don't tape that off, you will see the hard lines where, you know, the edge of your vinyl was. You need to tape that off very thoroughly. When I took it outside and I stuck it down, I went through and checked everything again. That's all of my painted edges and my hard lines, and where all that tape was at, made sure it was really stuck. There's one spot that I missed, or that lifted after I patted it down. One way or t'other, it doesn't matter. If you look, I'm upside down, but if you look right here on this D, see right there where there's that little bit of blur? That's overspray. That's because I wasn't stuck hard enough when I sprayed it. And I just misted this, guys. If you soak any material, I don't care if it's painted piece or whatever, and you stick this on there and you spray it heavy, you will have bleed. Okay, you will have that soak or saturation out and lose your hard edges. So mist it, okay? Now this being a fabric, I only mist everything. Even this, I misted it because it soaks into the material. You have to be very cautious of that. Okay, spraying a material is a whole different ballgame. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab my torch. Yeah, I'm going to grab my torch. I'm going to grab a chunk of wood. I'm probably going to use like a walnut or some kind of smoky wood that I use. I harvest my wood from my smoker when I'm making meats, straight out of the woods behind me. I keep track of when every tree falls, especially the ones I can use. So I have some, you know, good hard woods. I'm going to smoke some of that up and soak this, not soak, but I'm going to hold this above the smoke and get rid of the, there's not much of a paint smell at all. Like, no one would ever notice that at all. Like, there's no paint smell in this, but I want to give it a smoky smell so that way you have that effect of an old worn rune bag, okay? It's just part of that fauxtina. I'm trying to create an idea behind this bag that has been around for the last 1,000 years, in theory, that it was made 1,000 years ago. So that's everything you need to know about vinyls. I don't say everything you need to know, but that's everything you need to know about vinyls. Ask more questions. I'll post more content about vinyls. We cut vinyl. There is printing vinyls that's a little different, but it leaves a border. This right here, you see all the white? That's going to be your background color. So if you put this on your car, there's no background, there's no extra material, there's no clear over this, there's nothing. It's just the vinyl, which gives you cool effects, guys. You put this on something like our race truck. Hold on. We look at something like the number on the side of our race truck. You know, the 6 in the white and orange, that's one piece, but you see the blue outline? That blue outline is cut vinyl, which means that the black from the truck itself is what shows through that gap, okay? And this works on any vehicle. I don't care if it's red, blue, white, whatever. You're gonna get your base color a perfect match to whatever you're seeing your base color, okay? If I tried to print a black sticker to match the black truck, it might be different. It might have a different gloss. It might have a little more browns, a little more reds, a little more yellows. You never know. This is a perfect match and you don't have to worry about it. So that's one of the big reasons we use cut vinyls. So get out there and customize your stuff. Build cool things. You can do bags like this, easy, cheap, in a hurry, and you know, you can even buy a bag. Say you don't want to build the bag. You can buy a bag from Joann or Hobby Lobby or wherever else, and then you can order a sticker. And these stickers I sell very cheap, especially these negatives, because I know they're only going to be a one-time use thing. Something like what I just put on this here bag will cost you like $3 plus shipping postage, and if it fits in an envelope, that's like 50 cents. So for like $3.50, you can have this sent to you. Use some scrap paint, and then you have some cool stuff. Okay? That's the big thing. If I can ship it in an envelope, it's cheap. If I gotta ship it in a bigger envelope, it's a little more expensive, but it's cheap. So, comment, ask questions, shoot me a message. I'll make you negatives. I'll let you do this kind of stuff at home. I don't need your money to do this. You do it. You do it. Don't give somebody your money to make cool custom things when you can do them at home. Have fun, make cool stuff, and have a good day.